In the last video, I showed you how to make the legs for the squashed frog door stopper. In this video, I'll show you how to make the body and crochet the legs in as we go. If you haven't made your frog's legs yet, please click on the card link to go to the Squashed Frog Steps playlist. There are both right and left-handed versions of each video. I've used a lawn bowls ball in the body for the big green squashed frog door stopper. And I used a toning ball for both the original squashed frog door stopper and the purple squashed frog. I recommend the toning ball because it's the easiest one to find. You can buy them in sports stores or you could buy one on Amazon. They're just the right size, they're just the right weight, and they're easily accessible. I've listed a few other options for inserts in the description. I'm using Flinders 8-ply cotton and a 4mm crochet hook. First, tie a knot in your yarn to make a little anchor loop. We'll use that when making the magic ring, and it will prevent the magic ring from coming undone. You need this especially for heavy objects. Wrap the yarn around your fingers to start your magic ring. Put your hook through the center and pull through a loop. Hold that while you get ready to crochet, and then do a chain to anchor it. And then we're going to do 8 single crochet stitches, amigurumi style. So yarn under, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. There's 1, through the center, yarn under, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. There's 2, through the center, yarn under and pull through a loop, yarn over and pull through both loops. So keep going until you have 8 stitches. At the start of each round, I'll show you the pattern for the round and then speed through the repeats so I don't waste your time. A magic ring is much easier to do if you don't pull it completely closed for the first round. So just pull it until you can reach the other side, and then we'll start round 2. Make sure you use a round marker of some kind. I'm actually using some embroidery floss here. It's smaller than the yarn I'm using, so it won't leave a gap. So put your hook through that first stitch. That was our first single crochet stitch. Sometimes it's hard to get into that first one. So go under both the front and back parts of that loop. Then do a single crochet stitch. And of course, don't trap your magic ring yarn tail yet because we haven't closed the ring properly. So do an increase in this first space. And then we'll do a single crochet in the next space. So the pattern for round 2 is an increase and a single crochet repeated 4 times. You'll have 12 stitches at the end of the round. At the end of round 2, pull a large loop. Then we're going to close the center of the magic ring. The yarn is going around inside the magic ring this way, so you need to pull in the same direction the yarn tail is coming out. So pull that tight. Then make sure you try again and see if you can pull it any tighter. Remember I said at the magic rings at the start that there's a second little loop going around there. So pull it tight again to see if you can pull it any more through that center there to close the gap properly. If you have trouble pulling that center closed, you can use your hook to help you. Just hook it on and pull tight. Remember to use your round marker at the start of the round. The pattern for round 3 is 2 single crochets and an increase repeated 4 times. So do a single crochet in the first space and a single crochet in the second space, and trap the yarn tail between the stitches as we go. Then do an increase in the third space. Remember to trap your yarn tail. Keep the yarn tail taut or it can become loose inside your stitches. So the pattern for round 3 is 2 single crochets and an increase, repeated 4 times. You'll have 16 stitches at the end of the round. And I'll speed through this part until we get to the knot at the anchor loop. When you get to the knot just before your anchor loop, just tuck that behind and crochet straight into the stitches. Usually I crochet in for about 2 stitches. So that's 1, 2. This is my increase at the end of the round. And then you can crochet into the center of the anchor loop. That means you just get far enough past that anchor loop knot there that you don't make a bump. So I'll go into the center of my anchor loop and crochet that in. And in the stitches in round 4, I'll crochet it in until that loop is full. So move the round marker up for round 4. And in round 4, the pattern is an increase and a single crochet repeated 8 times. So I'm going to do an increase here, and I'm going to trap the anchor loop inside my work. So here's an increase, and I'm still going into the center of that anchor loop. And you can see the anchor loop is full now, so I won't do any more into there. So there's my increase, and now a single crochet. And we'll repeat that 8 times, so an increase and a single crochet all the way around. You'll have 24 stitches at the end of the round. Remember to move your round marker up for round 5, and in this round it's just a single crochet in each space. So just do a single crochet in each space all the way around, and you'll have 24 stitches at the end of the round. Remember to move your round marker up for round 6, and the pattern for round 6 is an increase and a single crochet, repeated 12 times. So do an increase, so 2 stitches in one space, and then a single crochet in the next space. So repeat that pattern, an increase and a single crochet all the way around. There'll be 12 repeats and there'll be 36 stitches at the end of the round. Move your round marker up for round 7, and round 7 is another easy one. It's just a single crochet in each space all the way around. You should have 36 stitches at the end of this round. I'll race you. Haha, that's not fair, is it? Move your round marker up for round 8, and in this round we're going to do 2 single crochets and an increase, and we're going to repeat that pattern 12 times. You'll have 48 stitches at the end of the round. Move your round marker up for round 9, and in round 9 it's another easy round. We're just going to do a single crochet in each space. So just do a single crochet in each space all the way around, and you'll have 48 stitches at the end of the round. Want to race again? Have you figured out how to beat me yet? Ready, set, go. Move your round marker up for round 10, and in this round we're going to do an increase and then 5 single crochets. You should have 8 repeats and 56 stitches at the end of the round. At the end of round 10, your body should look much like this. Remember to move your round marker up at the end of each round, and for the next 2 rounds, rounds 11 and 12, it's just a single crochet in each space all the way around. There are 56 stitches per round. I'll meet you at the start of round 13, and in round 13 we're going to attach the legs. At the end of round 12, your shape should be looking much like this. And in this round we're going to attach the legs. If you've already made your front legs and your back legs, just make sure that you have the right legs. The longer legs are the back legs. I've tied an anchor loop close to the bottom of the foundation double crochet leg, and I'm going to trap these in close to the legs so that you can't see them later. That way, after your frog has been loved for many years, you won't have any little bits of yarn sticking out. So insert your round marker, and the pattern for this round is 4 single crochets and an increase repeated 11 times, and then a single crochet at the end. We're going to attach the legs in stitches 16, 17 and 18. So this is 12, 13, 14, 15. Now we're going to start attaching one of the legs. This is the top side of my magic ring, so I'm going to turn that upside down, and I'll go through the base of what was the first foundation double crochet stitch behind both the front and back parts of that loop. Go into stitch number 16, get the yarn tail out of the way and do a single crochet stitch. And that's my fourth stitch, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 and then an increase. So the increase is going to be here on my leg. So I'll go through the middle of that foundation double crochet stitch, go through the next space and do a single crochet stitch, and then go through the top under both the front and back parts of that loop and back into this same stitch because this is where the increase sits. And we'll crochet the yarn tail into the next round. So now we need to go halfway around because the other leg comes on the other side. So I'll speed through this part and I'll meet you at the other side of the body. The other leg goes into stitches 50, 51 and 52 and it's not on an increase. So go ahead 5 increases, so 5 sets. So there's one more stitch, 49, and the leg goes into 50. So there's the top side for my leg, so I'm going to tip it upside down, crochet into behind the front and back of that, the base of that first foundation double crochet stitch, then into the body part, make sure this yarn tail's out of the way and do a single crochet stitch. I've got part of the loop there. Then in through the middle of the leg into the next space, do a single crochet stitch, and then behind both the front and back parts of the top of that foundation double crochet stitch and into the next space. And that was the 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4 since the last increase, and so the next stitch is going to be an increase. Now we just do 4 single crochets and an increase to the end of the round, and there's 1 stitch that's just a single crochet in the end. And rounds 14 and 15 are just a single crochet in each space. There are 67 stitches in the round. So just keep crocheting towards the leg and I'll show you how I crochet in that yarn tail and anchor loop. Now I want that knot to be behind the leg here so that it won't be visible. So I'm going to crochet 1 stitch into this yarn tail before the knot and then twist it back the other way. So here's the last stitch before the leg. I'm going to tuck that yarn tail around it and crochet that into my stitches. Then I don't want to crochet over the knot, so I'll crochet forward another 2 stitches. So there's 1, 2. And now I'm going to trap that anchor loop into my stitch there. By hiding the yarn tail in this way, the bumps, if there are any bumps by that knot, it will be hidden in the leg and you won't be able to see it. And you won't have any little bits of yarn sticking out after many years of somebody playing with your frog. So we'll do the same thing for the other side, and it's just a single crochet in each space all the way around this round and the next round. The pattern for round 16 is 10 single crochets and an increase, repeated 6 times, and 1 single crochet at the end. There'll be 73 stitches in the round. Round 17 is another easy round. We just need to do a single crochet in each space all the way around. There are 73 stitches in this round. Remember to move your round marker up for round 18, and in this round the pattern is 11 single crochets and an increase, repeated 6 times, and then a single crochet at the end. There'll be 79 stitches at the end of the round. For the next 3 rounds, rounds 19, 20 and 21, we'll just do a single crochet in each space all the way around. There'll be 79 stitches in each round. Let me pause here for a moment to explain how to adapt the pattern to fit a ball of a slightly smaller or larger size. Crochet stretches quite well, so as long as your ball is close in size to the one I'm using, you can make small changes to the pattern to fit the one you'll be using. The centre of my pattern is round 20. If you check closely on your ball insert, you may be able to find a centre line. Here's the centre line on the tan coloured toning ball. Here's the centre line on the larger toning ball. And you can see a centre line here on the Bocce ball that I have. I recommend using toning balls because they're easier to find, they're a great weight, and they're also soft, so it's easier to crochet around them towards the end. To check if the ball is going to fit well in your pattern, you can test it by putting the ball into the frog and finding where that centre line is. So I'm up to round 23, so the centre of my frog is in this round, in round 20. So I'm going to align this ball with the centre on round 20 and see if that fits neatly into my frog ball here. So I'll adjust that in there like that. Remember that it does stretch a bit. This does look a little loose, but as it stretches around the frog when we make it, that will fit nicely. And I have just tested it on the black ball, which has stretched it a little. So if you look at that carefully and you go back 3 rounds, you can see that this fits exactly where the centre of the body is going to be at the centre line. The Bocce ball is roughly the same size, so check for the centre line around the Bocce ball. Put it in so the centre line's in line with the stitches. And you can see that my Bocce ball also fits. If you go back 3 spaces, it almost fits. It might need 1 extra round there if I were to use the Bocce ball. It might be just right, you might have to stretch it a lot, but because this ball is quite hard, you might need to add 2 rounds. And if I were to use the larger toning ball, you can see it will stretch around the larger toning ball, but you can see that my round 23 fits nice and evenly at the centre of this ball. You need at least 1 round past the centre to make crocheting easier. That means we would need to add at least 7 or 8 rounds to the pattern for this ball. The pattern isn't too hard to adjust. You have the reverse at either end, so these 2 rounds are the same, so that means a single crochet in each space. These 2 rounds I have either increased or decreased, so this is the ball growing to the centre and this is the ball reducing down to the other side. So these have increases, these have decreases. 17 and 23 is just a single crochet in each space. 18 and 22, this is an increase while this is a decrease, and these 2 are the same, and my pattern centre is at round 20. To make the frog fit around the black ball, we just need to add a few stitches in the centre. So this aligns with this. At 19, I would do 2 rounds of just a single crochet in each space. At round 21, I would increase by 6. I'd do 4 in the centre that are all the same, so I'd do 2 rounds of single crochet stitch. Between that would be the centre, 2 more rounds of single crochet stitch so they align, and then I would reduce by 6 to the same that aligns with when it was growing, so you can see that it's just the reverse. So if you're making it larger, this is what to do, and to make it smaller is the same thing. If you find the centre of your frog is here at round 18, I wouldn't do an increase there, I'd just do a single crochet all the way around, a single crochet all the way around at 18, and use 18 as your centre point. So you need to find what that aligns with here, so you just skip these ones in the centre, you'd do single crochets here, and then single crochet here, and then start reducing. So can you see how the logic of the pattern works? You go until you've reached the centre, whether it be here or whether you need to add a few more to make yours centre. This will only work if your balls are roughly the same size, like these 3 balls. The difference is very minimal. There's only 1 centimetre difference between the large black toning ball and the smaller beige toning ball, and this Bocce ball is in between. So that kind of size difference, you can easily manage it in the centre of your pattern. If it's much larger than that, you really have to adapt the whole pattern from the start. While we're talking about aligning the centre of the frog, I'd like to give you a couple of extra tips. One of them is, if you find your round 20 is exactly on the line, do one extra round of single crochet stitches. That will make it much easier for you to fit these decreases in later. It can get very tight here as you're decreasing. The smoothness of the ball and how tight your tension is in your stitches both contribute to the size that you're going to need to fit over the top here. So if at any point you find the stitches frustratingly tight, it's perfectly fine to add a round of single crochet stitches anywhere in this process to loosen up enough to crochet comfortably. It's not supposed to be frustrating, it's supposed to be fun. One round only adds 5mm to the size overall, so it won't make a significant difference if you add a round or two if necessary. So just keep an eye on how you're going, and if it's getting too tight, just add one extra round in there to loosen it up for yourself. The pattern for round 22 is 11 single crochets and a decrease. We'll repeat that 6 times and then there'll be a single crochet at the end. At the end of round 22, your frog should look like this. And round 23 is another easy one. It's just a single crochet in each space all the way around. Have you figured out how to beat me yet? You can pause me. The pattern for round 24 is 10 single crochets and a decrease repeated 6 times and a single crochet at the end. You should have 67 stitches at the end of the round. Rounds 25 and 26 are just a single crochet in each space all the way around. You should have 67 stitches per round. Make sure you insert your ball before the opening gets too small. I just tested mine out and this is the last round that I can do without having the ball inserted. It's probably a good idea to wait for as long as possible because it is harder to crochet around the ball. But I'm not going to be able to fit the ball in after I do any more decreases. And the next round, round 27, has a lot of decreases. The pattern for round 27 is 4 single crochets and a decrease repeated 11 times and 1 single crochet at the end. There are 56 stitches in the round. If you're using the toning ball, you have got a little bit of give here. It is easy enough to crochet around the ball, but you may need to stretch your work a little bit. So it's easier if you have it on a table or something to hold the ball while you work sideways into the stitches. Remember, if your work is getting too tight, you can add an extra round of single crochets if necessary. So if it's too tight, just add as needed. Move the round marker up for the next round, and actually the next 2 rounds, rounds 28 and 29, it's just a single crochet in each space. So 28 will be a little bit tight and 29 will be looser, and then in round 30 we'll reduce again. So it's just a single crochet in each space all the way around, and you'll have 56 stitches per round. It is a little tough to do this other side, but in the end it's definitely worth it. The body just looks so cool wrapped around a ball. If you're not going to use a ball, just keep crocheting the way that you normally do, but when you stuff the body, make sure you stuff it very, very firmly, because after a while the stuffing will get a little bit squished and your frog will look quite sad if it has a squished body. The pattern for round 30 is a single crochet, then a set of a decrease and 3 single crochets repeated 11 times. There'll be 45 stitches at the end of the round. Make sure you keep your stitches nice and tight. Just keep them the same tension that you've done for the rest of the frog's body. The pattern for round 31 is a single crochet in each space, so there'll be 45 stitches in this round. Remember to move your round marker up for round 32, and in this round we're going to do 3 single crochets and a decrease, and we'll repeat that 9 times. You'll have 36 stitches at the end of the round. The pattern for round 33 is a single crochet in each space. There'll be 36 stitches in this round. We're almost done with the body. I hope you're having fun making your own squashed frog doorstopper. In round 34 we're going to do a single crochet and a decrease repeated 12 times. You'll have 24 stitches at the end of the round. We have 4 more rounds to go, and this one's an easy one again. It's just a single crochet in each space all the way around. You'll have 24 stitches in this round. The pattern for round 36 is a decrease and a single crochet repeated 8 times. You'll have 16 stitches at the end of the round. The pattern for round 37 is a decrease and single crochet repeated 5 times and 1 single crochet at the end. There'll be 11 stitches in this round. Move your round marker up for round 38. This is our last round, and in this round we're going to do a decrease and a single crochet repeated 3 times and then an extra decrease at the end. Then snip off a yarn tail long enough so that you can sew the ends through. Pull the loop through the last stitch, take out your round marker, and the last thing to do is to go through all of the front loops like this all the way around. So go into the front loops all the way around like this. Here's the last one, I think, and then pull that tight to close that. Pull that nice and tight, and then you can hide your yarn tail inside here like this. When we make the neck, it's going to be sewn over top of here. You can end off here, or you can use this yarn tail to tie off with the neck tail to tie them together later. So I'm going to sew in a few stitches and then I'm going to leave this yarn tail for when we tie off with the head. So your little body should look something like this. Very cute little body, ready for when we make the head and the neck. There it is. Body's done. In the next video, I'll show you how to make the tongue and how to make the mouth.